She'll live.
Oh, thank God.
You're a pair of lucky parents. I can tell you now, I thought she wouldn't.
Of course she'll live. The child's a Keller. She has the constitution of a goat. She'll outlive us all.
Yes, especially if you Kellers don't get a night's rest. I mean you, Ms. Keller.
You here, Katie?
I hear.
I brought up 2 of them, but this is my wife's first. She isn't battle-scarred yet.
Doctor, don't be merely considerate. Will my girl be all right?
Oh, by morning she'll be knocking down Captain Keller's fences again.
And isn't there anything we should do?
Put up stronger fencing.
Just let her get better. She knows how to do it better than we do. Main thing is the fever's gone. These things come and go in infants. Never know why. Call it acute congestion of the stomach and brain.
I'll see you to your buggy, Doctor.
Never seen a baby. More vitality. That's the truth.
Hush, don't you cry now. You've been trouble enough. Call it acute congestion indeed. I don't see what's so cute about a congestion, just because it's yours. We'll have your father write up an editorial in his newspaper, The Wonders of Modern Medicine. They don't know what they're curing, even when they cure it. Men in their battle scars. We women will just have to. Helen? Helen? Captain? Captain? Captain! Captain! Captain!
Katie, what is it?
Look!
She's well. She
can't see! Look at her eyes! She can't see!
Helen!
Oh, here! When I scream, she didn't blink. Not an eyelash!
Helen!
She can't hear you!
Helen!
Why are you cutting off that doctor's legs?
I'm gonna give him an operation. Now I'm gonna cut off his arms. 1, 2.
Cut off his stomach. That's a good operation.
No, cut off his head. We got a bad cold.
There ain't gonna be much of that doctor left to fix up by the time you finish all of them opera.
What do you do? Bite her hand?
That's what I do. She keep poking her fingers in my mouth. I just bite them off.
What's she trying to do now?
She's trying to talk. She's gonna get mad. Look at her trying to talk.
Hey, you stop that.
Let me have those scissors.
She only dug Martha's eyes out. Almost dug. Ain't no point worrying about it till it happens, is there?
How does she stand it? Why haven't you seen this Baltimore man? It's not a thing you can let go on and on like the weather.
The weather here doesn't ask permission of me, Aunt speak to my father.
Arthur, something ought to be done for that child.
A refreshing suggestion. What?
Why, this very famous oculist in Baltimore I wrote you about. What was his name?
Dr. Chisholm?
Yes, I've heard lots of cases of blindness people thought couldn't be cured. He's cured. He just does wonders. Why don't you write to him?
I've stopped believing in wonders.
I think the captain will write to him soon. Won't you, Captain?
No.
Good money after bad, bad after good, or bad after bad.
Well, if it's just a question of money, now that you're marshal and have all this Yankee money, you might as well
Not money. The child's been to specialists all over Alabama and Tennessee. If I thought it would do any good, I'd have it every fool doctor in the country.
I think the captain will write to him soon.
Katie, How many times can you let them break your heart?
Any number of
What,
times.
child?
As long as there's the least chance for her to see or hear.
There isn't. Now I must finish here.
I think, with your permission, Captain, I'd like to ride.
I said no, Katie.
Why, Ryder does no harm, Arthur, only a little bit of letter to see if he can help her.
He
You
can't.
won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you ride.
Katie, he can't.
Father stands up. That makes it a fact.
You be quiet. I'm badgered enough here about females without your impudence. Katie, might as well try to work in the hen yard of this house.
You really ought to put her away, Father.
What?
Some asylum. It's the kindest thing.
Why, she's your sister, James, not a nobody.
Half sister and half mentally defective. It's not pleasant to see her about all the time.
Do you dare complain of what you can see?
This discussion is at an end. I will thank you not to broach it again, Ev. I've done as much as I can bear. I can't give my whole life to it. The house is at 6s and 7s from morning till night over the child. I think it's time some attention was paid to Mildred here instead.
You wake her up, Captain.
I want some peace in this house. I don't care how, but one way we won't have it is by rushing up and down the countryside every time someone hears of a new quack. I'm as sensible to the affliction as anyone else. It hurts me to look at the girl.
It was not our affliction I meant you to write about, Captain.
Helen, my buttons! Oh!
Eyes? She wants the doll to have eyes.
I'm not decent.
She doesn't know any better, Annette. I'll sew them on again.
She'll never learn anything with everybody letting her do anything she takes.
You be quiet.
What did I say now?
You talk too much.
I was agreeing with you.
Whatever it was, deprived child, the least she can have is the little things she wants.
Look, Kate, it's worth a couple of buttons. This child has more sense than all these men killers if there's ever any way to reach that mind of hers.
Helen!
Oh, Helen, you're not to do such things. Oh, how can I make you understand?
Katie!
How can I get it into your head? My darling, my poor.
Katie, some way of teaching her an iota of discipline has
How
to
can you
be.
discipline an afflicted child? Is it her fault?
I didn't say it was her fault.
Then whose? I don't know what to do. How can I teach her? Beat her until she's black and blue?
It's not safe to let her run around loose. There must be a way of confining her somehow so she...
Where? In a cage? She's a growing child. She has to use her limbs.
Answer me one thing. Is it fair to Mildred here?
Are you willing to put her away?
Now what?
She wants to talk. Like you and me. Every day she slips further and further away. And I don't know how to call her back.
I've a mind to take her up to Baltimore myself. If that doctor can't help her, maybe he'll know who can.
I'll write the man, Katie.
Who could do nothing for the girl, of course. It was Dr. Bell who thought she might somehow be taught. I have written the family only that a suitable governess, Miss Annie Sullivan, has been found here in Boston and will come. It will no doubt be difficult for you there, Annie. But it has been difficult for you at our school, too. Gratifying, yes, when you came to us and could not spell your name. To accomplish so much in just a few years here. But always an Irish battle for independence. This is my last time to count you, Annie. And you do have a song. By some, I mean all, what... tact or talent to bend to others. And what has saved you on more than one occasion here at Perkins is that there is nowhere to expel you to. Your eyes hurt?
My ears, Mr. Nagnos.
Nowhere but back to Tewksbury where you learned to be saucy. Annie, I know how dreadful it was there. But that battle is dead. Done with. Why not let it stay buried?
I think God must owe me a resurrection.
What?
Like he's digging up that battle.
That's not the proper thing to say, Annie. This is what I mean.
Yes. But I know what I'm like. What's this child like?
Like?
Well, bright or dull to start off.
No one knows. And if she is dull, you have no patience with this?
Oh, in grown-ups you have to, Mr. Nagnos. It's just in children it seems a bit precocious. Can I use that word?
Only if you can spell it.
Premature. So at least I hope she's a bright one.
Deaf, blind, mute, who knows? She's like a little safe, locked, that no one can open. Perhaps there's treasure inside.
Maybe it's empty too.
Possible. I should warn you, she is much given to tantrums.
Means something is inside. Well, so am I if I believe all I hear. Maybe you should warn them.
Annie, I wrote them no word of your history. You'll find yourself among strangers now. Know nothing of it.
Well, then we'll keep them in a blessed state of ignorance.
Perhaps you should tell it?
Why? The only time I have trouble is when I'm right. Is it my fault it's so often? I won't be any trouble, Mr. Anagnos. I'll be so ladylike they won't know I've come.
Annie, be humble. It's not as if you have so many offers to pick and choose. You'll need their affection working with this child.
I hope I won't need their pity.
Oh, we can all use some pity. So, you are no longer a pupil. We throw you into the world a teacher if the child can be taught. No one expects you to work miracles, Annie, even for $25 a month. Now, in this envelope, a loan for the railroad, which you will repay me once you have a bank account. But, in this box, a gift with our love.
Mr. Nagnos! Mr. Nagnos, well, what should I say? I'm an ignorant, opinionated girl, and everything I am I owe to you.
That's only half true, Annie.
Which half? I crawled in here like a drowned rat. I thought I died when Jimmy died, to never again come alive. But you say with love so easy, and I haven't loved a soul since, and I never will, I suppose. But this place has given me more than just my eyes back, or taught me of a spell, which I'll never learn anyway. Through all the troubles and the fights I've been here, I've learned what real help is, and how to live again. And I don't want to say goodbye. Don't open the door. I'm crying.
They won't see.
Here, Beatrice.
Annie! Don't leave us, Annie. I miss you so much. Annie, don't leave us. Please. Annie.
There's a present.
Why are you going away, Cousin Annie?
Oh, no, you shouldn't have.
We did.
Where's the present?
Annie, don't go away. Alice has it.
Alice?
Where's Alice? Here I am. Here.
I have it. Should I open it now, everyone?
Open it. Everybody be quiet.
Do we, Annie?
Everybody's
Shh.
on it.
Shh.
Is it open, Annie?
It's open.
They're for your eyes, Annie.
Put them on, Annie.
Miss Hopkins said your eyes hurt ever since the operation, and you're going to a place where the sun is fierce.
I'm putting them on now.
Don't go, Annie, where the sun is fierce.
Do they fit all right?
They fit just fine.
Did you put them on, Annie?
Pretty,
Well,
Annie.
my eyes feel hundreds of percent better, and pretty too. Oh, do you know how I look in them? Splendid, like a racehorse.
Here's another present. Beatrice, do you have it?
For Helen, too.
Give it to her, collection to buy it, and Laura dressed it.
She's beautiful.
Oh, so don't forget. You'll be sure to give it to Helen. Yeah, don't see any.
Oh, I make sure it'll be the first thing I give her. That is, if I don't keep it for myself. You know I can't be trusted with dolls.
You know that. Don't go, Annie. Away to her. Yeah.
Sir, I don't want to go.
Then where are you going?
Because I'm a big girl now. Big girls have to earn a living. It's the only way. But if you don't smile for me first, you know what I'll just have to do?
What?
Put you in my suitcase and take you down and all about it.
Come, children.
No, Annie, don't. I miss you so much.
We must get the trunk into the carriage and Annie on her train, or no one will go to Alabama.
Oh, Annie. Please don't.
Come.
Bye, Annie. Say hi to Helen for
Oh, I will, I
us.
promise.
Good luck. Bye, Annie. I want to say bye. Where are we going, Annie?
Jimmy,
Where are we going?
I said, I'm taking care of you.
Forever and ever?
Annie Sullivan, age 9, virtually blind. James Sullivan, age 7. What's the matter with your legs, Sonny?
Forever and ever.
Can you walk without that crutch? Boy goes on to the men's ward. Girl goes on the way.
Annie! Annie?
Coming.
Let Mr. Jimmy go by himself. You've been poking that garden all day. You should rest your feet.
I can't wait to see her, Manny.
Maybe she ain't gonna be on this train either.
Maybe she is.
And maybe she ain't.
And maybe she is. Where's Helen?
She upstairs smelling around. She knows something funny's going on around here.
Let her have her supper as soon as Mildred's in bed and tell the captain that supper will be delayed tonight.
What, again?
I don't even need to say again. Simply delayed will do.
That's what he gonna say. What, again?
Yes, we're expecting someone. Someone from Aunt Helen. Oh dear, this was cleaned not an hour ago. Here, go while I'm gone. I don't need one peppermint drop will spoil your appetite.
Jimmy,
Sir,
you don't look dressed for anything useful, boy.
I'm not. It's for Miss Sullivan.
You can keep sitting on that porch. I asked you to see those strawberry plants moved this evening.
I'm moving your Mrs. Keller to the station instead.
Mrs. Keller, why must you always speak of her as though you've never met the lady?
Mother! I said mother!
Captain,
Evening, my dear.
we'll have to keep the train, Captain. Supper will be a trifle delayed tonight.
What, again?
With your permission, Captain.
What you want, honey? Your mama? Come here. I guess one little tea cake won't ruin your appetite.
She's gone. She's gone. My son and I don't get along. You don't know I'm your father. Nobody likes me and supper's delayed. Here. I brought you some stick candy. I'm sure one nibble of sweets won't do any harm.
Captain Keller, how am I supposed to get her to eat her supper when you filling her with that trash?
Send me your work.
Miss Sullivan?
Here. Oh, at last. I've been on trains so many days, I thought they must be backing up every time I dozed off.
I'm James Keller.
James? I had a brother, Jimmy. Are you Helen?
No, I'm only a half-brother. You're to be her governess?
Well, try.
You look like half a governess. Mrs. Keller? Miss Sullivan?
We've met every train for 2 days.
I got up every time they stopped. The man who sold me the ticket ought to be tied to the tracks.
Do you have a trunk, Miss Sullivan?
Yes. You didn't bring Helen. I was hoping you would.
No, she's home.
You live far from town, Mrs. Keller?
Only a mile.
Well, suppose I can wait one more mile. But don't be surprised if I get out and start pushing the horse.
Helen's waiting for you, too. There's been such a bustle in the house, she expects something. Heaven knows what. I expected a desiccated spinster. You're very young.
Oh, you should have saw me before this trip. I got much older on it.
I mean, to teach anyone as difficult as Helen.
Well, I mean to try. They can't put you in jail for trying.
Is it possible, even, to teach a deaf-blind child half of what an ordinary child knows? Has that ever been done?
Half?
A tenth?
No. Dr. Howe did wonders, but an ordinary child? No, never. But then, as I was reading over his reports, he never really treated them like ordinary children, or like eggs everyone was afraid would break.
May I ask how old you are?
Well, I'm not in my teens, you know. I'm 20.
All of 20.
Mrs. Keller, don't lose heart just because I'm not in my last legs. I have 3 big advantages over Dr. Howe that money couldn't buy you. One is his work behind me. I've read every word he wrote, and he wasn't exactly what you'd call a man of few words. The second is the bee. I know I've got energy to do anything. And the third is I've been blind.
Advantages?
Well, some of the luck of the Irish, some do not.
What will you try to teach her first?
First, last, and in between. Language.
Language?
Language is to the mind more than light is to the eye. Dr. Howe said that.
Language. We can't get through to her to sit still. You are young, despite your years, to have such confidence. Do you, inside?
No. To tell you the truth, I'm as shaky inside as a baby's rattle.
Don't be. We'll do all we can to help and to make you feel at home. Don't think of us as strangers, Miss Annie.
Oh, strangers aren't so strange to me. I've known them all my life.
Can't believe he's filling himself up with that trash now. Work all day to make him dinner. Now he has to eat cake. Captain Keller! Captain Keller! They're coming! She sure enough came, Captain.
Welcome to Ivor Green, Miss Sullivan. I take it you are Miss Sullivan.
My husband, Miss Annie, Captain Keller.
Captain Keller, how do you do?
A pleasure to see you, at last. I trust you had an agreeable journey?
Oh, I had several. When did this country get so big?
Where would you like the trunk, Father?
Where Miss Sullivan can get at it, I imagine.
Yes, please. Where's Helen?
In the hall,
We've put
Kitty.
you in the upstairs corner room, Miss Annie. If there's any breeze at all this summer, you'll feel it.
And the suitcase.
I'll take it, thanks.
Not at all, I have it, Miss
Please,
Sullivan.
I'd like it.
Miss Sullivan, you'll find in the South
Let
we
me-
view women as the flowers
And
of
something in
civilization.
it for Helen. Thank you. When will I see her?
There's Helen.
Katie.
Well?
She's very rough, Katie.
Oh, I like her, Captain.
Certainly rare, peculiar kind of woman in the North. How old is she?
Oh, well, she's not in her teens, you know.
She's only a child. What's her family like shipping her off alone this far?
I couldn't learn. She's very close-mouthed about something.
And why does she wear those glasses? I like to see a person's
For the
eye.
sun, she was blind.
Blind?
She's had 9 operations on her eyes. One just before she left.
Blind? Good heavens, they expect one blind child to teach another? Has she experience at least? How long did she teach there?
She was a pupil.
Katie, this is her first position?
She was valedictorian.
Here, a house full of grown-ups can't cope with the child. How can an inexperienced, half-blind Yankee schoolgirl manager?
Great improvement. Now we got 2 of them to look after.
You look after those strawberry plants.
Why say anything? Don't be long, Captain. We'll have supper right away.
All the trouble I went to, and that's how I look? Oh no, not the drawers! All right, Mrs. Sullivan, let's begin with doll. D. O. L. L. Doll.
You spell pretty well. What are you doing, finding out if she's ticklish? She is. What is that, some game you're playing?
An alphabet.
Alphabet?
For the deaf. Oh, how bright she is.
You think she know what she's doing? She's a monkey. She imitates everything.
She's a bright little monkey, all right.
She wants a doll back.
When she spells it.
Spells it? She doesn't know the thing has a name even.
Of course not. Who expects her to now? All I want is for her fingers to learn the letters.
They won't mean anything to her. She doesn't like that alphabet much of yours, Miss Sullivan. You invented yourself.
Spanish monks under a vow of silence, which I wish you'd take. Cake from Washington up north. It's the best I can do. C-A-K-E. Do what my fingers do. Never mind what it means. Get that down fast. Maybe I'll steal that back, too. Now. D-O-L-L. Think it over. L. Doll. Now understand later. End of the first lesson. Oh, you little wretch! Hasn't anyone taught you any manners? Why, I'll... Helen? Helen! Helen, let me out of...
Buffalo girl, are you coming out tonight? Coming out tonight. Coming out tonight.
Don't worry. You're not lost. Only misplaced. And toothless. Oh, it hurts.
It hurts, Annie. It hurts.
Keep that brat shut up, can't you, girlie? How's my body supposed to get any sleep in this damn ward?
It hurts. It hurts.
Shut up, you!
Annie, when are we going home? You promised.
Jimmy.
Forever and ever. You said forever. Annie? Annie, you there? Annie, it hurts.
Grab him, he's falling! Little girl, I must tell you, your brother will be going on his...
Supper's ready, Jimmy. Will you call your father?
Certainly.
Father! Supper's ready! No need to shout. I've been cooling my heels for an hour. Sit down.
Certainly.
Viney.
Yes, Captain. Right here.
Mildred went directly to sleep, Viney?
Oh, yes. That babe's an angel.
And Helen had a good supper?
I don't know, Miss Kate. She didn't seem to have much of an appetite tonight.
Oh, dear.
Well, I can't say the same for myself. I'm famished. Katie, your plate?
But where's Miss Annie?
In her room.
In her room? Doesn't she know hot food must be eaten hot? Go get her at once, Jimmy.
Certainly, I'll fetch a ladder.
What?
I'll need a ladder. It shouldn't take me long.
What shouldn't take you long?
Well, she's locked in her room.
Locked in her
What
room?
on earth?
Helen locked her in her room and made off with the key.
And you sit here and say nothing?
Everyone's been telling me not to say anything.
Viney, look out back for Helen. See if she has that key.
She's out by the pump. Miss Sullivan, are you in there?
Well, I'm in here, all right.
Is there no key on your side?
Well, if there was a key on my side, would I be on my side? No, Helen took it. The only thing on my side is me.
Miss Sullivan, not in the house 10 minutes, I don't see how you managed it.
And even I'm not on my side.
Bonnie, put that meat back in the oven.
She has no key.
Of course she does. Have you searched in her pockets?
Yes, she doesn't have it.
Katie, she has it.
Would you prefer to search her yourself, Captain?
No, I would not prefer to search her myself. She almost took my kneecap off early this evening when I merely... Take that ladder back.
Certainly.
She could have hidden the key.
Where?
Anywhere. Under a rock, in the garden, in the grass.
Oh, I don't have time to claw up the entire grounds to find that key. Jimmy, bring me a ladder.
Certainly.
What's Mildred doing up?
Captain woke up with all that hollering.
Miss Sullivan,
Yes, Captain Keller.
come out here, please.
I don't see how I can. There isn't room.
I intend to carry you. Now, please come out here.
Oh, no, it's very chivalrous of you, but I'd really
Miss Sullivan,
prefer...
no, I'll not also have you tumbling out of our windows. Please come out here and grab a hold of my neck.
Captain Keller, I'm perfectly capable of climbing down a ladder on my own.
I doubt it, Miss Sullivan. Please grab on.
Oh,
My neck, Miss Sullivan.
I'm terribly sorry to inconvenience you in this way.
No inconvenience, other than having that door taken down and the lock replaced if we can't find that key.
I'll look for it everywhere.
Do not look in any rooms that can be locked.
Thank you.
What are you all looking at? Go back to work. Go on, there's nothing to see here. Go. Now, can we try to have supper like normal people?
Vanna, serve supper. I'll put Mildred to bed.
Perhaps I should leave that L-A-D-D-E-R.
You devil. You think I'm so easily gotten rid of? Well, you have a thing or two to learn first. I have nothing else to do. And nowhere to go. And nobody here has attempted to control her. The greatest problem I have is how to discipline her without breaking her spirit. But I shall insist on resolute obedience from the start. Ink. Ink, it has a name. Down, under, up, and be careful of the needle. Fine. You stay out of the ink, while I stay out of the soup. These blots are her handiwork. All right, let's try temperance. Bad girl. Good girl. Very good girl.
What are you spelling to her?
Oh, I was just making conversation, saying it was a sewing card.
But does that mean that to her?
No, she won't know what it means until she knows what a word is.
Yet you keep spelling to her. Why?
I like to hear myself talk.
The captain says it's like spelling to a fence post.
Does he?
Is it?
No. That's how I watched you talk to Mildred.
Mildred?
Any baby. Gibberish, baby talk gibberish, grown-up gibberish. Doesn't mean one word to them to start. Somehow it begins to, if they hear it. I'm just letting Helen hear it.
But other children are not impaired.
Oh, there's nothing impaired in that head. It works like a mousetrap.
But after a child hears how many words, Miss Annie? 1,000,000?
I guess no mother is ever minded enough to count.
What did she spell?
I spelled card. She spelled cake. No, not that it means that to her. She won't know what it means until she knows that everything has a name.
When will she learn it?
Maybe after 1,000,001 words.
I should like to learn those letters, Miss Annie.
Good. I'll start teaching you tomorrow morning. That makes only 500,000 each.
It's her bedtime. I'm sorry, Miss Annie.
What does she get a reward for? For stabbing me?
Well, we catch our flies with honey, I'm afraid. We haven't the heart for much else, and so many times she simply cannot be compelled.
Yes. I'm afraid I'm the same way myself. The more I think, the more certain I am that obedience is the gateway through which knowledge enters the mind of the child.
Martha, what happened with you and Helena at the pump yesterday?
Nothing. She just tried to take my eyes out.
What did you do to her?
Nothing.
You had to have done something.
Ma, I swear I didn't do a thing.
What did Percy do?
He didn't do anything either, Ma.
Then why would she try to dig your eyes out if you didn't do anything?
Maybe she wanted to play with my doll.
Let her play with your dolls.
But I was playing with them, Ma.
Go get the food.
No, shouldn't we give the devil his due, Father? The fact is, we lost the South 2 years earlier when he outfought us behind Vicksburg.
Outthought is a peculiar word for a butcher.
Harness maker, wasn't he?
I said butcher. His only virtue as a soldier was his numbers, and he led them to slaughter with no more regard than for so many sheep.
Even if in that sense he was a butcher, Father. The fact is...
And a drunken one. Half the war.
Agreed, Father. If his own people said he was, I can't argue that he was.
And what is it you find to admire in such a man, Jimmy? The butchery or the drunkenness?
Neither, Father. Only the fact that he beat us.
He didn't.
Is it your contention we won the war, sir?
He didn't beat us at Vicksburg. We lost Vicksburg because Pemberton gave Bragg 5,000 of his cavalry. And Lauren, whom I knew personally for a nincompoop before you were born, marched away from Champions Hill with enough men to have held him. We lost Vicksburg by stupidity, verging on treason.
I would have said we lost Vicksburg because Grant was one thing no Yankee general was before him.
Drunk? I doubt it.
Obstinate.
Obstinate? Could any of them compare even in that with old Stonewall? If he'd been there, we would still have Vicksburg.
Well, the butcher simply wouldn't give up. He tried 4 ways of getting around Vicksburg, and on the 5th try he got around. Anyone else would have pulled north.
He wouldn't have got around if we'd had a Southerner in command instead of a no-good half-breed Yankee traitor like Pemberton. What's the matter there?
Miss Annie, you see, she's accustomed to helping herself from our plates to anything she likes.
Yes, but I'm not accustomed to it.
No, of course not. Viney!
Give her something, Jimmy, to cry at.
But her manners are the best she has.
Let her this time, Miss Sullivan. It's the only way we can get any adult conversation. If my son's half merits that description, I'll get you another plate.
I have a plate, thank you.
Bonnie, I'm afraid what the captain says is only too true. She'll persist in this until she gets her way.
Viney, bring Miss Sullivan another plate.
I have a plate, nothing's wrong with the plate. I intend to keep it.
You see why we lost Vicksburg?
Miss Sullivan, one plate or another is hardly a matter to struggle with a deprived child.
Oh, I'd rather have a more heroic issue myself than...
Now she's hurt herself.
No, she hasn't.
Will you please let go of her hand?
Miss Annie, you don't know the child well enough yet. She'll keep
Oh, I know an ordinary tantrum when I see one, and a badly spoiled child.
Here, here.
Miss Sullivan, you would have more understanding of your pupil if you had some pity in you. Now kindly do as I say.
Pity! For this tyrant, the whole house turns on her whims. Is there anything she wants she doesn't get? I'll tell you what I pity, that the sun would rise and set for her all her life, and every day you keep telling her that it will. What good will your pity do when you're underneath the strawberries, Captain Keller?
Hey, for the love of God, Miss Weaver.
Annie, please, now I don't think it serves to lose our tempers.
Oh, it does you good, that's all. It's less trouble to feel sorry for the girl than to do anything about it, isn't it?
I fail to see where you've taught her anything yet, Miss
I'll begin
Sullivan.
this moment if you'll leave the room, Captain Keller.
Leave the room.
Everyone, please.
Miss Sullivan, you're here only as a paid teacher, nothing more.
I can't teach her 6 years of pity if you can't stand up to one tantrum. Old Stonewall, indeed. Mrs. Keller, you promised me help.
Indeed I did. We truly want...
Then leave me alone with her, now.
Katie, will you come outside with me? At once, please.
Out, please.
If it takes all summer, General.
This cub of a girl presumes. I tell you, I'm of half a mind to ship her back to Boston before the week is out. You can inform her so from me.
I, Captain?
She's a hireling. Now I want it clear unless there's a complete change of manner and an apology. She goes back on the next train. Will you make that quite clear?
And where will you be, Captain, while I am making it...
At the office.
Will you? I thought what she said was exceptionally intelligent. I've been saying it for years.
To his face? Or will you take it, Jimmy, as a flag?
What am I gonna do, Miss Kate? It's noontime. Dinner's coming. I didn't get those breakfast dishes out of there yet.
You run along, Martha.
I can't wait out here a minute longer, Kate. Why, this could go on all afternoon, too.
I'll tell the captain you called.
You hear what Miss Kate say? Never you mind what's going on out here. Run along, tend your own business. Shoo!
Say what you like, Kate, but that child is a Keller. I needn't remind you that all the Kellers are cousins to General Robert E. Lee. I don't know who that girl is. The only Sullivan I've heard of, from Boston too, and I'd think twice before locking her up with that kind, is that man, John L.
You give me her, Miss Kate. I'll sneak her around back to her crib.
This child never gives me a minute's word.
This child's the angel of the family, no question about that.
What happened?
She ate from her plate. She ate with a spoon, herself. And she folded her napkin.
Folded? Her napkin?
The room's a wreck, but the napkin is folded. I'll be in my room, Mrs. Keller.
Don't be long, Miss Annie. Dinner will be ready right away.
Folded her napkin.
This soul, this blind, deaf, mute woman, can nothing be done to disinter this human soul? The whole neighborhood would rush to save this woman if she were buried alive by the caving in of a pit, and labor with zeal until she were dug out. Now if there were one who had as much patience as zeal, He might awaken her to a consciousness of her immortal.
Annie? Annie, you there? Hush. Annie, what's that noise?
Just a cut, Jimmy.
Where are they pushing it?
To the dead house.
Annie, does it hurt to be dead?
There is school. There's schools outside where they teach one horse and her to read and write. School. There is school.
You ain't going to school, are you, Annie?
When I grow up,
You ain't either, Annie. You're gonna stay here and take care of me.
I'm going to school when I grow up.
You said we'd be together forever and ever. You promised.
I'm going to school when I grow up.
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother will be going on a journey soon.
Goodbye, Annie.
Write me when you learn how.
Don't tell anyone you came from here.
Don't tell anyone you can.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
It hurts to be dead forever.
Might awaken her to a consciousness of her immortal nature. The chance is small indeed, but with a smaller chance they would have dug desperately for her in the pit. And is the life of the soul of less import than that of the body?
Katie, I will not have it. Now, you did not see that girl when she went to look for Helen in her room tonight.
No.
The child practically climbed out of the window to escape from her. What kind of teacher is she? I thought I had seen her at her worst this morning, shouting at me. But I come home to find the entire house is organized by her. Helen won't stay 1 second in the same room as her, won't come to the table with her, won't let herself be bathed or undressed or put to bed by her, or even by Viney now. And the end result is that you have to do more for her than before we hired this girl's services. From the moment she stepped off the train, she's been nothing but a burden, incompetent, impertinent, ineffectual, immodest.
She folded her napkin, Captain.
What?
Not ineffectual. Helen did fold her napkin.
What in heaven's name is so extraordinary about folding a napkin?
Well, it's more than you did, Captain.
Katie, I did not bring you all the way out here to the garden house to be frivolous. Now, how does Miss Sullivan expect to teach a deaf-blind pupil who won't even let her touch her?
I don't know.
The fact is, today she scuttled any chance she ever had of getting along with the child. If you could see any point or purpose of staying on here longer, it's more than I
What
can
do
see.
you wish me to do?
I want you to give her notice.
I can't.
Then if you won't, I must. I simply will not. Miss Sullivan.
Captain Keller. Viney said I might find you both over here in the garden house. Perhaps we should have a talk?
Yes, well, come in. Katie.
Captain?
I wanted first to make my position clear to Mrs. Keller in private. I've decided that I that I am not satisfied. In fact, I'm deeply dissatisfied.
Excuse me, is this little garden house ever in use?
In the hunting season. If you will please give me all attention. I've tried to make allowances for you because, well, you come from a part of the country where people, women, I should say, well, for whom, well, allowances must be made. Miss Sullivan, I find it very difficult to talk to those glasses.
Oh, of course.
Why do you wear them? The sun's been down an hour.
Any kind of light hurts my eyes.
Put them on, Miss Sullivan. I have decided, nevertheless, to give you another chance.
To do what?
To remain in our employ, but on two conditions. I am not accustomed to rudeness in servants or women. That is the first. If you are to stay on, there must be a radical change of behavior.
Whose?
Yours, young lady, isn't it obvious? Second, you must persuade me that there's the slightest hope of you teaching a child who flees from you like the plague to anyone else she can find in this house.
There isn't.
What, Miss Annie?
It's hopeless here. I can't teach a child who runs away.
Then, do I understand that you propose?
Then if we all agree it's hopeless, the only
Miss
thing...
Annie, I am not agreed. I think perhaps you underestimate Helen.
I think everybody else here does.
She did fold a napkin. She learned. She learns. Do you know she began talking when she was only 6 months old? She could say water. Not really. Wawa. Wawa, but she meant water. She knew what it meant, and only 6 months old. I never saw a child so brighter, outgoing. It's still in her somewhere, isn't it? You should have seen her before her illness. Such a good-tempered child.
She's changed.
Miss Annie, put up with it, and with us.
Us?
Please, like the lost lamb in the parable, I love her all the more.
Mrs. Keller, I don't think Helen's worst handicap is deafness or blindness. I think it's your love and pity.
Now what does that mean?
All of you here are so sorry for her, you treat her like a pet. Even a dog you housebreak. No wonder she won't let me come near her. It's useless for me to try and teach her language or anything else here. I might as well.
Annie, before you came, we spoke of putting her in an asylum.
What kind of asylum?
For mental defectives.
I visited there. I can't tell you what I saw. People like animals with rats in the halls. What else are we to do if you give up?
Give up?
You said it was hopeless.
Give up? Here today, I just saw what has to be done to begin. I want complete control of her.
You have already had that. It has resulted in...
No, I mean day and night. She has to learn to be dependent on me.
For what?
Everything. The food she eats, the clothes she wears, fresh air, yes, the air she breathes. Anything her body needs is a primer to teach her out of. The one who gives it to her has to be her teacher. Not anyone who loves her. You will have so many emotions they trip over each other like feet. You won't use your chances and you won't let me.
But if she runs from you, to us?
Yes, that's the point. I'll have to live with her elsewhere.
What?
For how long?
As long as it takes. I've packed half my bag already.
What is your intention if I say no? Pack the other half and abandon your charge to...
The asylum? I grew up in such an asylum. The state's almshouse. Rats? Why, my brother Jimmy and I used to play with the rats because we didn't have toys. Perhaps you'd like to know what Helen will see there, not on visiting days. One ward was full of old women, crippled, blind, most of them dying. But even if what they had was catching, there was nowhere else to put them. And that's where they put us. The younger ones were across the hall. Prostitutes mostly, with TB and epileptic fits, and some of the kind. Kept after other girls, especially young ones. And some insane. Some just had the DTs. The youngest ones were in another ward to have babies they didn't want. They started at 13, 14. They'd leave afterwards, but the babies stayed and we played with them too. But most of them had sores all over their bodies and diseases you're not supposed to talk about. But not many of them lived. The first year we had 80. 70 died. The room Jimmy and I used to play in was the dead house. They'd keep the bodies until they could dig
Oh, my dear.
the graves It's made me strong. But you needn't send Helen there. She's strong enough. No, I have no conditions.
Miss Annie,
Yes?
where would you take Helen?
Oh, Italy?
What?
Can't have everything. How would this garden house do? Furnish it, bring Helen here after a long ride so she won't recognize it, and you can see her every day. If she doesn't know. Well,
Is that all?
that's all.
Captain, with your permission.
Why must she depend on you for the food she eats?
I want control of it.
Why?
It's a way to reach her.
You intend to starve her into letting you touch her?
She won't starve, she'll learn. All's fair in love and war, Captain Keller. You never cut supplies.
This is hardly a war.
Well, it's not love. A siege is a siege.
Miss Sullivan, do you like the child?
Do you?
You could have a servant here.
Well, I'll have enough trouble without having to look after a servant. But that boy Percy could sleep here, run errands.
We could let Percy sleep here, I think, Captain.
And some old furniture all our own?
Captain, do you think that walnut bedstead in the barn would be too...
I am not consented to the proposal, or to Percy, or to Miss Sullivan staying on when I... Very well. I consent to everything. But for 2 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks in this place, and it'll be a miracle if you can get the child to tolerate you.
2 weeks? Miss Annie, can you accomplish anything in 2 weeks?
Anything or not. 2 weeks and the child comes back to us. Make up your mind, Miss Sullivan. Yes or no?
2 weeks. For only one miracle? I'll get her to tolerate me.
You can't think as little of love as you said. Or you wouldn't stay.
I didn't come for love. I came for money.
What?
A, the first of many. 26. I've always wanted to live in a doll's house.
You don't let go of things easily, do you? How will you win her hand now, in this place?
Do I know? I lost my temper and here we are.
No touching, no teaching. Of course you are bigger.
I'm not counting on force, I'm counting on her. That little imp is dying to know.
Know what?
Everything. Any and every crumb in God's creation. And I'll have to use that appetite too.
Maybe she'll teach you.
Of course.
That there is such thing as a dullness of heart, acceptance, and letting go. Sooner or later, we all give up.
Maybe you all do. It's my idea of the original sin.
What is?
Giving up.
You won't break her. Why can't you let her be? Have some pity on her for being what she is.
If I'd once thought that, I'd be dead.
You will be. Why trouble? Or will you teach me?
Does she know where she is?
We rode her out in the country for 2 hours.
For all she knows, she could be in another town.
What's her sign for me?
In 2 weeks.
Miss Annie, please be good to her. These 2 weeks, try to be very, very good to her.
I will. Weeks. What have I gotten myself into now?
I don't understand it. I had every intention of dismissing that girl, not setting her up like an empress.
Yes, what's her secret, sir?
Secret?
That enables her to get anything out of you she wants, when I can't.
She does not get anything she wants.
Don't kill him!
He's afraid. What does he want out of me?
My God, don't you know? Everything you forgot when you forgot my mother!
Tell you one thing that girl's secret is not. She does not fire a single shot and disappear.
Captain, I am proud of you.
For what?
For letting this girl have what she needs.
Why can't my son be? He can't bear me. You think I treat him as hard as this girl does, Helen?
Perhaps you do.
But he has to learn some respect.
Do you like the child? How empty the house is tonight.
No! No, Pity, it won't have it. On either of us. Oh, I will touch you! How? How do I? How? Percy! Percy! Percy, wake up! Percy, come out of bed and come in here. I need you. Percy! Percy, you awake?
No.
How would you like to play a nice game? With Helen. She's under the bed. Touch her hand.
Oh, no, she's trying to talk. She's gonna hit me.
She can talk. She just doesn't know it yet. She can make letters. Here, I'll show you. Here's one, C. This one is C. She's mad now, but she won't play. Here, I'll show you another one. A. C, A, K, E. She spells cake, she gets cake. Isn't it funny that she knows how to spell? She doesn't know that she knows. Here. Fine. Then if she won't play with me, I'll just play with you. How would you like to learn one she doesn't know?
No.
M-I-L-K. M, that's this. I, that's an easy one. No, why should I play with you? I'm playing with Percy. Oh, so you're jealous now, hmm? All right. M-I-L-K. Also, I'm back to where I can touch you, hmm? Touch and go. No love lost, but here we go. You can go to bed now, Percy. You've earned your rest. Now all I have to teach you is one word. Everything. Hush, little baby. Don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. And if that billy goat won't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cart and bull. And if that cart and bull turns over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. And if that dog named Rover W-A-T-E-R. Water. It means this. W-A-T-E-R. Water. E-G-G-A. It has a name, Helen. That name stands for a thing. Oh, it's as easy as birth to explain. The chick has to come out of the egg sometime, Helen. You come out too. And the only way out for you is through words. Learn that they can be your eyes, so you can see everything inside and outside you. Helen, Helen. Here, mug. M-U-G, mug. It has a name, Helen. It has a name.
You haven't eaten, Katie.
I haven't the appetite. I'm too restless. I can't sit to it.
You should eat, my dear. It'll be a long day waiting.
Yes, but it's been a short 2 weeks. I never thought life could be so noiseless. Went by much too quickly for me.
C-A-R-D, card. C-A-R-D.
Well, the house has been practically normal, hasn't it?
Jimmy.
Is it wrong to enjoy a quiet breakfast after 5 years and you two even seem to enjoy each other?
It would be even more noiseless without your tongue running every minute. Haven't you enough feeling to imagine what Katie's been on?
It's true. These 2 weeks have been normal, quiet, all you say, but not short. Internal.
W-A-T-E-R. But it means this. W-A-T-E-R.
I only meant that Miss Sullivan is a boon of contention, though it seems.
If and when you're a parent, Jimmy, you understand what separation means. A mother loses a protector. You'll learn we don't just keep our children safe, they keep us safe. There are, of course, all kinds of separation. Katie has lived with one kind for 5 years. Another kind is disappointment in a child.
I feel every day more and more inadequate.
Kate, I'm sorry. Open my mouth like that fairy tale and frogs jump out.
No, it has been better for everyone.
I feel I need a teacher as much as Helen does.
Kate, what does he want from me?
That's not the question, Jimmy. Stand up to the world. That comes first.
But the world is him.
Yes, and no one can do it for you.
Kate, at least could you be my friend?
I am.
My mind is undisciplined, full of skips and jumps and Disinterested, disjoint, disinterested, disjoint. Where's discipline? Some dictionary. Have to know how to spell the word to learn how to spell the word. Disciple, discipline. Huh? Discipline. Undisciplined.
What are you doing to your eyes?
Oh, it's worse than my vanity. I'm learning how to spell. It's like a surprise party. The most unexpected characters show up.
You're not to overwork your eyes, Miss Annie.
Well, if I spell anything to Helen, I better spell it right.
How serene she...
Yes, she learned the stitch yesterday. Now I can't get her to stop. Such a little lady. She'd sooner starve than eat with her fingers.
Oh, you've taught us so much these 2 weeks, Miss Annie. I would never, ever have thought...
Not enough! Obedience is not enough! Well, she learned 2 nouns this morning, key and water, which brings her up to 18 nouns and 3 verbs.
But not...
No, not that they mean things. It's just a finger game to her, no meaning. Mrs. Keller! Shall we play our finger game?
How will she learn it?
It will come.
How?
How does a bird know to fly? We're born to use words. Like wings, it has to come.
But how?
All right, I don't know how. Everything she's learned here. Keeping herself clean. Knitting, stringing beads, meals, setting up exercises in the morning. We climb trees, hunt eggs. Yesterday a chick was born in her hands. Everything we do, all of it I spell. I go to bed with writer's cramp from spelling so much.
I worry about you, Miss Annie. You must rest.
Now, she spells back things in her sleep, things she doesn't even know. Those hands know. Those 5 fingers ache to speak out. Something in her mind is asleep. How do I nudge that awake? That's the one question.
With no answer.
Except to keep at it. Like this.
More time here?
Spell it.
Because I can't.
Spell it. If she ever learns, you two will have a lot to say. Start now.
Miss Sullivan, on my way to the office, so I thought I'd bring Helen a playmate.
Outside, please, Captain Keller.
My dear child, the 2 weeks up today.
Not until 6 o'clock.
Oh, now what difference can a fraction of 1 day make?
An agreement is an agreement. Now, you've been very good. Now, I'm sure you can keep it up for a few more hours.
Miss Sullivan, you are a tyrant.
Likewise, I'm sure. You can stand there, but close the door if she comes.
I don't think you know how eager we are to have her back in our arms.
I do know. It's my main worry.
It's like expecting a new child. Well, she is so composed, so attractive. You've done wonders for her, Miss Sullivan.
Have I?
If there's anything you want in repayment, just tell us. It would be our pleasure.
I already told Mrs. Keller I need more time.
Miss Annie.
Another week.
Miss Sullivan, we miss the child. I miss her. I'm glad to say it's a different debt that I owe you.
Pay it to Helen. Give her another week.
Doesn't she miss us?
Of course she does. What a wrench this unexplainable exile must be on her. Can you say it's not?
No, but
Doesn't she need affection too?
She doesn't show me she needs it. Caressing or...
But you're not her mother.
And what would another week accomplish? We are more than satisfied. You've done more than we ever thought possible.
I can't make any promises.
Taught her constructive things to do and behave like, even look like a human child. So manageable, cleaner, more...
Cleaner.
Well, we said cleanliness is next to godliness.
Cleanliness is next to nothing. She has to learn that everything has a name, that words can be her eyes, that everything inside and outside her too. What is she without words? With them she can think, have ideas, be reached. You publish a newspaper, Captain Keller. Do I have to tell you what words are? And she has them already. 18 nouns and 3 verbs. They're in her fingers. All you have to do is push one of them into her mind. One. And everything under the sun will follow. Don't you see that what I've done here has only paved the way for this? I can't
Look.
risk you.
What is she spelling?
Water?
Teaching a cat to spell? The cat doesn't understand what she means any more than she understands what you mean. I think you ask too much of her and yourself. God may have not intended Helen to have the eyes you speak of.
I intend her to.
What is it to you? You make us see how we indulge her for our sake. Is the opposite true for you?
Half a week.
An agreement is an agreement.
Mrs. Keller.
I want her back.
I'll send Viney over to help you pack.
Not until 6 o'clock. I have her till 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Come, Katie.
No. T-O-Y. Toy. Not water. Here. W-A-T-E-R. Water. Helen, I don't know how to reach you. Not a soul in the world knows how to reach you. Helen. Helen. Yes. What's it to me? They're satisfied. Give them back their child, both trained and housebroken, and everyone's satisfied. But you and me. Reach, reach. I wanted to teach you. Oh, everything the world had to offer. Everything on it that's ours for a wink and it's gone. The light we bring to it and leave behind it. Words. Why, you can see 5,000 years in the past in a light of words. The things we think, share, know. Nothing is ever left in the darkness or done with, even in the grave. I know that if I can just put one word in your head, then I can put the world in your hands. And no matter what it takes, I won't take less. How? How do I tell you that? This means a word, and that word means this, round, or this, toy, dress, stool, F-A-C-E, face. M-O-T-H-E-R, mother. M-O-T-H-E-R,
Oh, please let her come.
You said we'd be together forever and ever. You promised forever and
But that battle is dead and done with. Why not let it stay
I
there?
think God must owe me a resurrection.
forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever and ever and forever and ever and ever.
Miss Sullivan, I brought you something.
What?
Your first month's salary, with many more to come, I trust. It doesn't express what we feel. It doesn't repay you for what you've done.
What have I done?
Taking a wild thing and giving us back a child.
No, I taught her one thing. No, don't do this. Don't do that.
It's more than any of us could in all the years.
But I wanted to teach her what language is. I wanted to teach her yes.
You will have time.
But I don't know how. I know just to obey is no gift. Obedience without understanding is a blindness in itself. Is that all I've wished upon her?
No, no.
Maybe. I don't know what else to do. Just keep on doing what I've been doing and hope that somewhere inside she's waiting, like water, underground. All I can do is keep on.
It's enough for us.
You can help, Captain Keller.
How?
Even what she's learned here has been at a cost of much trouble and pain. Don't undo it.
Why should I wish to undo
I
it?
know the world isn't an easy place for anyone, but to just have her obey or have her way in everything is a lie. To her, I can't. And I don't even love her. She's not my child. Well, you have to stand between that lie and her.
We'll try.
Because I will. As long as you let me stay here, that's a promise I'll keep.
Agreed. Won't you come now to supper?
Yes. Why didn't God pay off his debts each month?
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. You know, I used to wonder how I could make a living.
Oh, you do.
I really do. Now I wonder, can I survive it?
May I?
Be glad to have you back too, probably. keys. Yes, I'll keep the keys. I think we've had enough of locked doors, too.
Evening, General.
Will you say grace, Jimmy?
And Jacob was left alone with the angel. And as he wrestled with the angel, the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And the angel said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." Amen.
You angel. That's a very strange grace, James.
Will you stop the carrots, Ev?
It is from the good book, isn't it?
Of course it is. Didn't you know?
Yes, I knew.
Then why ask?
I meant it is from the good book, and therefore a fitting grace.
Well, I don't know about that.
Miss Anne? Thank you.
There are an awful lot of things in the good book that I wouldn't care to hear just before eating.
Well, fitting in the sense that Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and so is this piggy's.
I declare, James.
Pickles, Aunt Eve?
Oh, I should say so. You know my opinion of your pickles.
This is the last of them, I'm afraid. I didn't put up nearly enough last summer. This year I intend to put up more.
Reverend looked in at the office today to complain his hands had stopped lame. Poor fellow, he was out of joint. All he could.
I've always suspected those hens.
Of what?
I think they're papers. Has he?
James, now you're pulling my lower extremity. The next...
Miss Anne.
No!
It's a very special day.
It will be when I give in to this.
I've hardly had a chance to welcome her home.
Captain Keller.
Oh, Katie, Miss Annie and I had a little talk. She feels that if
But
we...
what's the child done?
She's learned not to throw things on the floor and kick. It took us the best part of 2 weeks.
But only a napkin. It's not as if it would break.
And everything she's learned is... Mrs. Keller, let's not play tug of war for her. Either give her to me or you keep her from kicking.
What is it you wish to do?
Let me take her from the table.
Oh, let her stay. My goodness, she's only a child. She doesn't have to wear a napkin on her first. Even better if she doesn't want
And
to.
ask outsiders not to interfere.
Outsiders? I'm a child's aunt.
We'll want her so much, Miss Annie. I've made all of Helen's favorite foods tonight.
It is a homecoming party, Miss Annie.
She's testing you. You realize...
She's testing you.
Jimmy, be quiet.
I have an opinion. I think
No one is interested in hearing your opinion.
I'm interested. Of course she's testing me. Let me keep her to what she's learned, and she'll keep on learning from me. Take it from my hands, and it all comes apart. Be bountiful. It's at her expense. Please pass me some more of her favorite foods.
Take her, Miss Annie.
Thank you.
Miss Sullivan, I'm afraid you're the difficulty. Now, I'll keep her to what she's learned. You're quite right there. But I don't see any need to send her from the table. After all, she's the guest of honor. Bring her plates back.
If she were a staying child, none of them you would put up with this for 1 moment.
Well, she's not. I think some allowances are in order. Please bring her plates back. Yeah. It's not unnatural. Most of us show some aversion to our teachers, and occasionally a second hand can help smooth things out. Now, shall we start?
I think we've started all over.
Don't stand up.
Where are you going?
Don't try to smooth anything else out. Don't interfere in any way. I treat her like a seeing child because I asked her to see. I expect her to see. Don't undo what I do.
Where are Sit down, everyone. Please sit down, Jimmy.
All right, come. No, she's not here. Come. W A T E R water. W A T E R water. It has a name, Helen. It has a name. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yes. Well. Stone. Ground. Mother. Papa, she knows. Teacher. Teacher. Teacher?